Hey guys, back again with another video. A short video this time, a demo impressions video. I've done one of these types of videos in the past, but there was two demos that came out for PS4 recently that I was interested in. So I thought, what the hell, I'll share my thoughts on these two demos. The first one is Tearaway Unfolded, and this is a remake of sorts of Tearaway on the Vita, a game that I was interested in, but I didn't really pick it up. In fact, I had played the demo of that one, Tearaway on the Vita, and I really could not get into it. I found that the demo incredibly boring, and you know, sometimes demos aren't always the greatest representation of a game, and maybe that was the case with the Vita demo, but I thought, you know what, I'll give this PS4 version a shot. In terms of what's new, I think there's like added content. All like the touchscreen features for the Vita version, you now use the touchpad on the PS4 controller. But the PS4 version has apparently a lot of the PlayStation camera like features where it uses the camera. Unfortunately, I don't have one, so apparently you miss out on a lot if you don't have a PlayStation camera. But basically, what did I think of the PS4 version? Unfortunately, the same thing with the Vita version. I just found it incredibly boring, and it's one of those things where I really feel like I should like this game more. Because it's very charming. It's got a fantastic paper kind of art style to it. The voice acting is really nice. The music is great. Like it's got this really nice folky type soundtrack that I really dig, and it's certainly a unique game. There's nothing quite like it. But I find just the general platforming in this game. And like all my problems with this PS4 demo are the same with the Vita demo, where like the platforming, I just find it incredibly easy and boring. And I don't know, some of it, the game is I don't know, maybe it's a bit harsh to call the game gimmicky, but there's a lot of gimmicks really. You know, utilizing the PS4 controller, for instance, you kind of like, I guess the controller has the motion controls or whatever, where you move the controller around and you guide a shining light around the environment. You can interact with the environment that way. There's all sorts of puzzles, some of them boring, some of them quite clever. The demo's pretty short, there's not much to it. Apparently the full game has some pacing problems, like the Vita version was apparently nice and short, whereas the PS4 version, apparently it's actually too long for some people. So I have to say the the version is probably a little more creative and fresh, and I don't know if this Tearaway Unfolded is worth a purchase if you really love the Vita version. But yeah, I mostly found the game just kind of boring, which is really unfortunate. Now, of course, it is just a demo, and you know, maybe the game gets a little more interesting later. But I think Tearaway is one of those things where, you know, I'm probably going to try to get the Vita version at some point for cheap. I think the game's already quite cheap on the Vita, but I probably wouldn't go with the PS4 version. And Media Molecule, the developers of this game, obviously they're known for Little Big Planet, and I hate Little Big Planet. I can't stand that game. I think the curation tool is just not very good, especially now that we have Super Mario Maker. And the physics, a lot of people have mentioned the physics in those games. I think they're dreadful. Like, with platformers, they have to control well, they have to have great physics, and Little Big Planet fails spectacularly in that regard. Again, it's a very charming game. Like, Media Molecule, they make these charming games, but I don't know, they're just really boring to me, and it was the same with this demo. So yeah, unfortunately, wasn't quite impressed with Tearaway Unfolded, and it's certainly, again, this was one of those things where when this game came out, I was interested in buying it, so I'm glad a demo came out. But like with the Vita version, I just wasn't feeling it. That said, I'm probably gonna still end up picking this game up if I see it for like $10 to $20. I think it's still like 30 in Canada or something like that. I don't know. I'll be on the lookout for it. But yeah, fortunately, Tearaway Unfolded, I just don't think it's quite my type of game, really. And the next demo is Disgaea 5, and unlike Tearaway Unfolded, I actually really loved this demo. A very extensive demo, too. Even though you only get about 4 missions in this demo, you can actually carry over your progress into the full game, which is fantastic, and you can replay missions and level up your characters to like ridiculous degrees. So I don't know, it might actually, if you play the demo enough, it might make the full game too easy, but Disgaea. This is a series that I've always been fascinated with, but never actually put too much time into. I think I put maybe an hour or two into the first one way back in the day when it came out on PS2. But other than that, I haven't really gotten into the series, and it seems like a series like that I would enjoy, even though I am terrible at strategy RPGs, and playing this demo, I was terrible at this demo, but I really enjoyed my time with it. It really surprised me, actually. Obviously, the series has a lot of fans, and I do like how you don't really need to have played the previous ones to jump into this one. Like, I think Disgaea D2 is the only direct sequel. I think that was a direct sequel to the first one, but the rest of them you can play basically at any time. So I figure Disgaea 5, this is going to be the game I jumped into the series with, but it was dependent on this demo, whether I enjoyed the demo or not. And yeah, I love the demo. I thought it was fantastic. The story doesn't seem too interesting here, but I like the characters and the writing in this game quite a lot. It actually kind of surprised me how funny the writing was in this game. The banter between the two lead characters, Kilia and Serafina, I think. The banter was just really enjoyable, really funny. There was some video game references thrown in here. There was like a Hulk Hogan character, which was kind of interesting. Yeah, but yeah, very funny, witty writing that really caught me off guard. Even though the story so far doesn't seem terribly interesting, but who knows? It's just a demo, and it just starts you off. A fairly simplistic story to say, a simplistic story, really. The gameplay, though, is where it's at here. I loved the gameplay. Now, I think the only negative aspect, or the negative point for me, is how slow the battles can be. And maybe that's just because I'm really bad at the game. It takes me a while to, you know, end my turn and kind of queue up all my actions. But the battles are pretty slow going. But, I mean, it is a strategy RPG. But yeah, all the different character classes were fun to use. I love the whole recruiting system they've got going on. I've got, like, I love the main hub you have. And every time you recruit a new character, they'll be in the hub and you can talk to them. I know there's apparently an item world. There's all these features that aren't unlocked in the demo just yet, but I'm very excited to see exactly what that entails. You've got a really involved quest system. I know, obviously, you can level your characters up to, like, what, 9,999. I know the Disgaea games, they're very enjoyable playing through from start to finish, but they're also very deep. If you really want to get into them, you can get hardcore into these games and just be playing for hours and hours and hours. Like, content-wise, there's probably going to be a lot here. But I really enjoyed the battles. They were very fun. And it's been so long since I played a strategy RPG that I was just, I don't know, it was very involving. Visually, I gotta say, it's not too impressive. It looks like the Disgaea games on the PS3. I think the big thing with this one, though, with the PS4, apparently they can have over 100 characters on screen, where I guess they can only have like 10 characters on screen on the PS3 version, which that's a pretty big upgrade. That's going to be interesting seeing like later battles, I guess, where you've got 100 characters on screen. That's going to be pretty absurd. But like the environments are kind of bland looking. The sprites look great. Like the 2D graphics are pretty nice. The soundtrack, not too many songs in the demo, but the one song that does play in your kind of hub area is very weird. It's like I can't even describe it to you. It uses vocals, which usually I'm not too into those tracks, but this song is actually really good. It's very bizarre. Maybe that's why I liked it, because it's just so weird. The game overall is just kind of weird, but I dig it. I mean, I guess there's not too much to say. If you've played Disgaea, you know what to expect. I don't know how different this is compared to the rest of the series. If you're a Disgaea fan, you probably already have the like special edition pre-ordered or whatever. I'm probably just going to go with the regular edition myself, but I'm glad I was able to save my progress here and carry it into the full game when it comes out in October. So yeah, a nice surprise for me. I was not planning on picking this game up, so I'm glad a demo came along. So yeah, it's very fun. I'm trying to think of other stuff to say. I mean, I guess there's not really much to say. If you've played a Disgaea or seen a Disgaea, this is generally more of the same. But yeah, I really dug it, and it's going to be my entry point to the series. So yeah, that was the impressions on the two demos. Not much to say about them both, but I wanted to get a video out there, and sometimes I do videos on demos. But yeah, in terms of what I've been playing, what's coming up next. Still playing Mario Maker, still absolutely fucking loving that game. I'm going to be starting Little Battlers Experience on the 3DS. I picked that game up. I was always interested in that game, but watching the Funny Nerd, Leo's review of that, that made me finally go and decide to pick that game up. So probably do an impressions video on that. Of course, October is packed for games. We've got Disgaea 5, like I mentioned, but what else? I think, Yoshi's Woolly World's coming out. I have that pre-ordered. I don't know if I'm going to like that game or not, but I figure, whatever. I got it pre-ordered for like a significant discount, so I might as well keep it. What else? I know there's a bunch of stuff in October. Legend of Legacy for the 3DS is coming out next month, which that game looks really awesome. Like, traditional JRPG goodness right there. I think that could be a very underrated game this year. We Dancing All Night, Persona Dancing All Night at the end of September. I'm going to be playing that quite a bit. There's other games that's slipping my mind at the moment. Of course, Fallout 4 in November. Unfortunately, I just heard the news. Persona 5 is delayed till summer 2016. That kind of sucks, but that was not surprising to me whatsoever. It turns out 2016 is going to be the new 2015. People were saying 2015 is going to be insane, but I think 2016 is going to be the crazy year, as Dark Souls 3 and Persona 5. Oh yeah, Xenoblade Chronicles X coming out in December. That's going to be the nice December game, although that's a huge game. It's going to take me a while to get through that. But yeah, tons of great stuff coming up. Definitely looking forward to the game releases in these next few months. But yeah, that's it, guys. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.